So in today's video, we'll be learning about order of operations. So order of operations tell you what order to solve a problem, what steps you do first, and then what do you do last, and then what do you do in between those. So a good way to remember order of operations is the phrase or the word PEMDAS. So we have P, which stands for parentheses. And we have E, which stands for exponents. Then we have M, which stands for multiplication. D, which stands for division. A, which stands for addition. And then S, which stands for subtraction. So you follow this order. However, the first one you start with is parentheses. It's going to be the first one you always start with. The second one is always going to be your exponents. But your third one is going to be a mix of multiplication or division. So to determine which one you do first out of multiplication and division is whichever one is to the left most. So whichever one is more to the left of the problem, then that's the one you do. And then you have your last step, which is going to be addition and subtraction, which that one doesn't matter on the order. You can do addition as long as you've done your parentheses, exponents, multiplication, and or division. And then you get to addition and subtraction. You did all the ones previously. Addition and subtraction, it doesn't matter which order you do it in. But you can still do leftmost if depending on your preference, but it doesn't matter on the order. So why have PEMDAS? Why do we have this set of rules we follow to determine which properties we use first? So the reason why is if you don't have a set of rules for determining which steps you do first, you're going to get all types of different answers. So we have a problem like this where we're going to do it two different ways. So we're going to do it where we do it the PEMDAS way, and then we're going to do it a way where it's incorrect. It's a different way. So we're going to do the parentheses first, but we don't have any parentheses. We move on to exponents. We don't have any exponents. So then we move to multiplication and or division, and we only have multiplication, so we're just going to multiply. So 2 times 2 is going to give you 4, and then we carry the minus 1. So it's 6 plus 4 minus 1, so 6 plus 4 is 10. Minus 1 is going to give you 9. So this is the correct way. Then let's do it the incorrect way, or the different way. So let's just say we did no order of operations and we just did it from left to right. 6 plus 2 is going to give you 8 times 2 minus 1. Then we have 8 times 2, which is going to give you 16. And then 16 minus 1 is 15. So notice how we get two different answers. This is the correct way, and this is the wrong way. So that's why we have order of operations. Anytime we have an equation and we have multiple properties, most of the time there's going to be different answers you're going to get. And you don't want different answers in math because it's going to make everything even more confusing. All right, we'll start off with this problem. So for this one, we start off with P, PEMDAS. So start off with P, which is parentheses. We take care of everything inside of the parentheses. So we have 3 times 2 in the parentheses of it getting squared. So 3 times 2 is going to give you 6. And don't forget the squared. And then we carry the minus 4. And then we have 6 plus 2, which is going to give you 8. And then we close the parentheses. So that's everything inside of the parentheses we taken care of. We can't express 6 or 8 anymore. That's the most simplified version of it. So now we move to our exponents. We have one exponent, which is at 6 squared. So 6 squared is going to give you 36. And we carry the minus 4 times 8. So we have no more exponents, so we move to our multiplication and division. So we only have one multiplication or division going on. Well, it's just one multiplication, so we just take care of that. So we carry the 36 minus 4 times 8 is going to give you 32. And then we did our multiplication division, so now it's for addition and subtraction. But we only have subtraction, so we just finish this problem. 36 minus 32 is going to give you 4. So that's going to be your answer. So for this next problem, we're going to start at P again, which P is for parentheses, which it looks like we have no parentheses at the moment, but we do have a square root. So in order of operations, square roots are going to be considered parentheses. So we're going to take care of that first. So we're going to carry the 5 squared minus 4 divided by 7. And then minus 11 minus 2 is going to give you 9. So it's going to be the square root. Oops, that was a little crooked. Square root of 9. So then we move to our exponents. So we have a 5 squared, but also don't forget about the square root. It's considered an exponent because the square root of 9 can also be written as 9 to the power of 1/2. So we do have to take care of that square root in this exponent step. So 5 squared is going to give you 25 minus 4 divided by 7. And then we have the square root of 9, which that's going to give you 3. So then we move to multiplication and division, and notice that we have that 25 minus 4 divided by 7. So in order for us to complete the whole division, we actually have to subtract. We can split it up if we wanted to. We could do 25 divided by 7 minus 4 divided by 7 and then minus 3. Or you can just do 25 minus 4 and just give you 21 and then do 21 divided by 7, which is going to give you 3. So you can do it either way because then once you break it up into these two fractions, your division is completed and then you can just subtract. But for this sake, I'm going to do the 25 minus 4 first so we can complete our division. So 25 minus 4 is going to give you 21, and then carry the 7 minus 3. Then 21 divided by 7 is going to give you 3. And then we carry the minus 3. 3 minus 3 is going to give you 0. So that's your answer. All right, so for this question, we have an absolute value bracket and we have parentheses. So absolute value brackets are going to be considered as parentheses for your order of operations. So we're going to do parentheses. So we do carry the 6 minus, and then we have those brackets, those parentheses. So we have 5 minus 8. So it's going to be the absolute value of negative 3 plus 3. And then 4 minus 1 is going to give you 3. So then we have our parentheses. Now we move on to our exponents. So exponents, we don't have any, so we move to multiplication and or division. So we can do 6 minus and then absolute value of 3. So I guess we can just do the absolute value, take it. Absolute value turns any negative number to positive, any positive number to positive. So it's going to be positive 3, then plus, and then 3 times 3 is going to give you 9. So then we move to subtraction, addition and subtraction, and it doesn't matter which order you do it in. As long as you have addition and subtraction left, you're still going to get the same answer. So 6 minus 3 is going to give you 3 plus 9. 3 plus 9 is going to give you 12. So that's going to be your answer. All right, so for this question, it's a little trickier because the whole thing is a fraction. So it means the whole thing is getting divided. But we still continue with our order of operations. We have no parentheses, so we can move on to our exponents. And we only have one exponent, which is that 3 squared. So it's going to be 14 minus 3 times 2 divided by 2 times 5. And then minus 3 squared is going to give you 9. So then we move to multiplication and division. Our exponents are done. So for the multiplication, we have 14 minus 3 times 2 is going to give you 6 divided by 2 times 5, which that's going to give you 10, and then minus 9. And remember, for division, we have to completely simplify it to actually divide it. So we can do the addition and subtraction right now. So we have 14 minus 6, which is going to give you 8, divided by 10 minus 9, which is going to give you 1. So your answer is going to be 8. All right, so for this next problem, we have something a little different. We have more than the amount. We've seen an extra amount of parentheses in this problem. We have 3 different sets of parentheses. So let's start with parentheses. 7 times 5 times 3 is going to give you 15 minus 2, and then we have those two parentheses. One set of parentheses is inside another one. So whenever you have two of them, one inside the other, what you want to do is start off with the smaller one. So those big brackets are going to be the bigger one, and then we have that one with the 6 minus 3, that's your smaller one. So we're going to start with the smaller one, the 6 minus 3. And then we'll move out to the bigger brackets and simplify it. It's going to be big bracket. 6 minus 3 is going to give you 3 minus 4. Carry the square. Close the bracket. Plus 1. So we're still in our parentheses part because that 3 minus 4 squared is still not solved. So then we have 7 times 15 minus 2. Carry the bracket. And then whenever you have... So notice how we have subtraction and exponents inside the parentheses. So whenever you have something like this, you basically just, whenever you're in those parentheses and they have more than one property, like they have subtraction and multiplication, you want to do PEMDAS, but just do it without the P. So if we're in parentheses, we just do E and then MD and then A and S. So we do our exponents, multiply and divide, and then addition and subtraction. So we're at E, so we're gonna do the exponent, which is 3 minus 4 times 4 is gonna give you 16, and then plus 1. And we're still in parentheses. We had to move to the exponent step just because that was the way to solve the parentheses. So then minus 2, big bracket, and then 3 minus 16 is negative 13, and then plus 1. So then we move to our multiplication and division, and we have two things multiplying, 7 times 15 and negative 2 times negative 13. 7 times 15 is going to give you 105 minus negative times negative is going to give you a positive. So we need to put a positive sign, and then 2 times 13 is going to give you 26. Then we're going to carry the plus 1. So then 105 plus 26 is going to give you 131 plus 1. And then 131 plus 1 is going to give you 132. So that's going to be your answer. All right, so for these next couple of problems, let's try to let's do order of operations without having the PEMDAS definition in front of us. So we're going to try to use muscle memory. So we start off with parentheses. So we're going to carry the 6 divided by 2 minus, and then we're going to solve inside the parentheses. 81 divided by 3 squared. But remember, whenever I said we're in parentheses and we have more than one property, so here we have division and exponents, what we do is just start from P, but we're already in P, so we move down to E. And then once we solve the inside, then we're done with P. So we have 81 divided by 3 squared. So we're on exponents for the moment. So 3 squared is going to give you 9. And we're going to carry the 6 divided by 2 minus. Then we have 81 divided by 9. That's going to give you 9. And then we have our exponents are done, our parentheses are done. So now we move to multiplication and division. So here we have a division sign. So 6 divided by 2 is going to give you 3 minus 9. Or I didn't really have to write the parentheses, but minus 9. And then all we got to do is subtract. 3 minus 9 is going to give you negative 6. So that's going to be your answer. All right, so for this next problem, we have those two sets of parentheses, we have some exponents, and we have division and multiplication. So the first one we're going to do is parentheses. So we have that big set of parentheses, and we have that small set of parentheses. We're going to do the one that's inside of the big one. So it's going to be negative 2 times, big bracket, 16 divided by, and then here's the part we're going to do that small parentheses. 8 minus 4 is going to give you 4, and that's going to be squared. And then close the bracket, and then another square. So remember, whenever we have more than one operation inside of a parentheses, we just momentarily skip the parentheses step and we move to exponents. So we're going to do the exponents inside of the parentheses. So it's going to be negative 2 times big bracket 16 divided by 4 squared is going to give you 16. And then we're going to close the bracket and then do the square. Because remember, we're doing only the order of operations inside of those parentheses momentarily. So then we have negative 2 times, and then still need to solve inside the parentheses. We're still in our parentheses step. We had to bypass it to do the exponent. But then we have 16 divided by 16, so it's going to give you 1. That's 1 squared. So now we move to our exponents. So it's negative 2 times 1 squared is going to give you 1. And we move to our multiplication. And then we have negative 2 times 1, which is going to give you negative 2. So that's going to be your answer. So for this next problem, we have parentheses. So we're going to do carry the 3 times, and then 5 minus 8 is going to give you negative 3. And then we multiply those two, and then we're going to get negative 9. So that's going to be your answer. Alright, so for this problem, we have a set of parentheses, so that's going to be the first thing we do. 36 divided by 9 is going to give you 4. And we carry the plus 6. And then we move to our exponents, but we don't have any exponents, so we move the multiplication and or division. And we have a division right here. 12 divided by 4 is going to give you 3. Carry the plus 6. And then we just finish it out because now we have no multiplication or division. So we move to addition and subtraction. So 3 plus 6 is going to give you 9. So that's going to be your answer. So for this problem, we have no set of parentheses. So we move to our exponents. We have no exponents, so we move to multiplication and or division. And we do have multiplication, so we're going to carry the 3 minus 12 times 2 is going to give you 24, and carry the plus 19. So now we're on addition and subtraction, which it doesn't matter what order you do, you're going to get it the same way. So it's going to be 3 minus 24, which that's going to give you negative 21, and then plus 19. So the answer is going to be negative 2. So for this problem, we do have a set of parentheses, so we need to simplify that. 5 plus, and then we have 6 plus 4, which that's going to give you 10, and then carry the minus 11. So then now all we have is addition and subtraction, so we just add these up, and subtract some of these. So 5 plus 10 is going to give you 15 minus 11. And then 15 minus 11 is going to give you 4. So that's going to be your answer. So for this problem, we have no parentheses or exponents, so we can move to multiplication and division. So we have division in the middle, and then we have multiplication to the left. So this is one of those cases that I was saying where if you have multiplication and division in the same problem, you want to go to the left. So we're going to go and do that 14 times 3 first and then divide. So if you do 14 times 3, that's going to give you 42 divided by 7. And then carry the minus 6. And then we divide. 42 divided by 7 is going to give you 6. We carry the minus 6. 6 minus 6 is going to give you 0. So that's going to be your answer. So for this problem, we have no parentheses or exponents. So we move to multiplication and division. We only have multiplication, so we do that one. 6 plus 2 times 2 is going to give you 4. And then minus 1. 6 plus 4 is going to give you 10. Then minus 1. And then 10 minus 1 is going to give you 9. So that's going to be your answer. So for this problem, we do have parentheses, so we need to take care of that. So we have 2 squared. So what we're going to do is square it. So it's going to give 2 times 2 to the power of 2. It's going to give you 4. So then we move to our exponents, which we already did our exponents. Then we move to m and d, which multiplication and division. So we multiply. 9 plus 4 times 4 is going to give you 16. 9 plus 16 is going to give you 25. If I can write it right. So that's going to be your answer, 25. So for this problem, we have no parentheses, so we can move to our exponents. We have 5 squared. So we can write that as 25 and then carry the minus 7. So then we move to our multiplication and division. We only have division, so we do the math for that. 25 divided by 25 is going to give you 1. Carry the minus 7. 1 minus 7 is going to give you negative 6. So that's going to be your answer. So we do have a parentheses, but it's already simplified. So we move on to our exponents. We have no exponents, so we move to multiplication and division. We only have multiplication, so we just multiply. 2 times 4 is going to give you 8. And then negative times negative is going to give you a positive. 9 times 1 is going to give you 9. And then it's 8 plus 9, which that's going to give you 17. So that's going to be your answer. So for this problem, we do have a set of parentheses, so we need to evaluate that. So we're going to carry the 12 times 3 minus 1. It's going to give you 2, and then divided by 6. So then we have multiplication and division. So remember, we move for the left. We move left to right if we're doing multiplication and division. So we have 12 times 2, which that's going to give you 24, and then divided by 6. So then we divide. 24 divided by 6 is going to give you 4. So that's going to be your answer.